Now, so I'm starting here the slope. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, suppose if you have a point A which has a coordinate x1 comma y1, you know that first we write x and then we write y. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have another coordinates point B which has the x2 comma y2. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, see what you can do from these 2 points. The first thing is you can use distance formula, which is you can find the distance between them by using this formula, x2 minus x1 whole square
Yeah.
plus y2 minus y1 whole square.
Okay.
That is
Yeah.
the first thing you can do. The second thing you can do is you can find the midpoint between them. So that will be equal to x1 plus x2 over 2 comma y2 plus y1 over 2 or y1 plus y2 over 2.
Yeah.
Okay, that is second thing. Third thing, we can connect them and we can make a straight line.
Yeah.
Let's say this is the point B. Okay, now you can find the slope of this thing, this line, and the slope is always written in the m, and that is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Now, right now you know the slope, you know the midpoint, uh, you know the distance between them. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, if I ask you how to write the equation of this line, because this is a straight line, is that right?
Yeah.
So there are two way people represent the equation of line. The first way is they write y is equal to m x
X plus
plus
C.
c, and the second one is y minus y1 is equal to m x minus.
X minus X1. Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you know what is the criteria of using the first one and what is the criteria of using the second one? Any idea?
To use the second one to get it in the form of y equals mx plus c. Like, that's the layout, y equals mx plus c. But then you use y minus y1.
Yeah, both are same. See, you have rare. Sometime we use this equation, but the most of the time we use this equation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Suppose this is x-axis, this is your y-axis, okay, and you have
Yeah.
a straight line like this. Some
Yeah.
point, this straight line will cut the y-axis, okay, and that coordinate is called 0 comma c. So if you have, this is called, the c is called y-intercept,
Yeah.
okay, y-intercept. So if you know the y-intercept, you can directly use this formula. So if you know the
Okay.
slope, and if you know the second thing is y-intercept, you can use this formula. Is that right?
Okay. Yeah.
And if you want to use this formula, you should know first thing is slope, which is universal, and second thing, you need a point.
Yeah.
And you know that you have 2 points, 1 and 2. You can use any of them. You don't have any restriction for that, okay? You can use any of them. Is that right? So
Yeah,
first
that's
you
right.
need to calculate slope. Always important, for the straight line you need to calculate slope, and then you can find one point, or if you have a y-intercept, you can directly write this. Okay, but these things, this is universal, because if you know y-intercept, that is also a point 0 comma c, you can use this formula. Is that right? Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, now let's try one question. Okay, now before that I want to discuss another concept, which is called the concept of parallel lines and the straight line. Okay, now let's see, this is one line and this is another line, and you can see that both of these two lines are parallel. Is it right?
Yeah.
So if the lines are parallel, how you can relate their slope? Let's say slope of this is m1 and let's say slope of this is m2. So what is the relation between the slope? This is called parallel lines. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the relation between the slope of first and second?
Would it be the same?
Yes, so m1 should be equal to m2.
2.
So if the slope of this is half, the slope of this will be also half.
Half. Yeah.
Is that clear?
Yeah.
Now let's draw the condition for the perpendicular lines. Okay. Now let's say there is a one line and there is another line and they are making 90-degree, and that we say in maths they are perpendicular to each other. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now if the slope of this is m1 and the slope of this is m2, now what is the relation between them?
They wouldn't be the same, would they?
They will not be the same. The condition for if the two lines are parallel, then m1 multiplied by m2 will give you -1. Is that clear?
Okay. Yeah.
Now this is the condition if two lines are perpendicular. Okay.
Yeah.
If the two lines are perpendicular, then m1 multiplied by m2 is equal to -1.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Now let's understand with number. Okay, what they mean. Okay, let's say the slope of the first one is half. Okay,
Yeah.
in one of the question I'm saying that the two lines are perpendicular and the slope of one of them is half. What is the slope of another one? Then what I will do, I will use this equation. So let's say m1 is half multiplied by m2, that should be equal to -1. Is that right?
Yep.
Now can I write m2 is equal to -2?
Yeah.
So the slope of second will be -2.
-2.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Now there is a short trick. You don't have to use all the time this equation. What you can do is, if the slope of the first one is no, the condition they should write that the lines are perpendicular. If the lines are perpendicular and the slope of the first one is half, then slope of the next one, the next line will be, switch this and change the sign.
Oh yeah.
If you switch this, you will get 2/1. Is that right? And change the sign. So -2.
Okay.
So this is a short trick you can remember all the time, because you don't need to do all the time. Okay, but that always remember this is my first condition. If the two lines are perpendicular, then only you can do these things or switching one.
Okay.
Now vice versa, if two lines if the multiplication of the slope of two lines is coming out to be -1, then what I can say, the lines are perpendicular.
Oh yes. Yeah.
The lines are perpendicular. Is that clear?
Yeah.
So this is all about parallels and perpendicular lines. So let me write here, this is perpendicular.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Now let's say a general form of straight line is given. Let's say general form of equation is ax plus by plus c equal to 0. Example, let's say 2x plus 3y plus 1 equal to 0. Okay.
Yeah.
They have given only this equation and they they're asking for what is the y-intercept and what is the slope. Do you know how to calculate this?
No, I'm not sure.
See, we have to write this line, manipulate this one in the form of y equal to mx plus c.
Oh yes, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, you have to rearrange.
Rearrange. Okay, so to rearrange this, can I write 3y is equal to minus 2x minus 1?
Yeah, yeah.
And divide everything by 3, you'll get y equal to minus 2 over 3x minus 1 over 3. So slope
Yeah.
is minus 2 over
Minus
3,
2 over 3.
and the c value of c is minus 1
over 3.
Is that right? So this is the way
Yeah.
you can calculate, you can fetch out the slope from general form of the straight line.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll try some of the questions, and let's see how you're doing. So can you go to the example 3
Yeah.
and try out the question?